Welcome everybody to our RealBird hands-on workshop. We're glad that we could have you here on this webinar this fine Friday morning. I say webinar, I know real estate agents have been overwhelmed by webinars, and sometimes they get another webinar invite and they're like, oh my gosh, another online meeting. I got to go take care of my real clients out here. Well, we do these webinars, these training sessions twice a month. We're glad to have you here. We try to pack them full of great information that's going to help you be more successful in your real estate practice. Whether you're working with buyers or needing help with sellers, RealBird has the tools to help you be successful and to make sure you're using the best of the latest tools that are available. And I'm happy to be here. My name is Eric Zebarth. I'm a guest trainer with RealBird, invited here to share with you what's working and what works in the real world. I have tons of clients I work with and helping them with their online marketing, and RealBird invites me back to have me share what I do and how I help them be successful, how I help my clients be successful using these tools. I'm not alone on this webinar here today. I have one of the owners and developers of RealBird, Gabe Grossi's, with us today. Good morning, Gabe. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. And big announcement, solstice was yesterday. Now we're going to shorter and shorter days, so we need to hurry up again.
Yeah, it's amazing here. I used to live in Southern California, San Diego. Now I live in Northern Utah, and it can be sunny pretty much 7 in the morning to almost 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night. It's really crazy. So we just had our longest day up here in North America, so it's going to get shorter as we move on. So use that time wisely. You know, when we talk about using tools, the better you use tools, the more I say adept, or the more skilled you are, the more confidence you have. And this RealBird technology is a great opportunity to be able to basically speed up the cycle. You know, technology doesn't do the work for you. It does what needs to be done, but does in a quicker, more efficient way. And gosh, in working with real estate agents every day in their daily business and marketing, I realize you guys have a lot on your plate. There's no doubt about it. And I think RealBird was created to basically leverage your resources, to leverage your listings, and leverage your buyer skills to be able to help you be successful as possible. You know, RealBird's been around since 2004. So what's that? 14 years this year. Is that right? Does that sound right, Gabe?
Sorry, there is a lag here when I turn on the microphone.
Oh, okay, sorry. So about 14 years. RealBird's been around?
A little bit more than 14 by now.
Wow, amazing. So the idea is that you could think of like a tool that was created, 14 plus years ago. It's, just sits there on a shelf, and you've probably seen some technology tools do that for real estate agents. RealBird's not happy with that. They're constantly adding new tools to the toolbox to help you be successful. In fact, we had a couple that just came out just in the last last month, RealBird and created a WordPress plugin. Most real estate agents have websites out there. I'd say more than half of them have WordPress websites that they can add plugins to, which is like adding an app to your iPhone, or Android, that lets you be able to take the listing that you put inside your RealBird account and make it show up and have it be SEO friendly, which is basically friendly to the search engines. So that came out in May, and this is something that just came out last week, basically a little week and a half ago, that they developed this open house registration form with a QR code and SMS text code. And what basically that's a form that you can pull up that you can send to people, or you can have it posted on your website, and they can enter their name, email, phone number, and then they can receive an e-flyer of the photos and details of that property. It's kind of like I guess think of like a digital open house, so to speak. So they're constantly coming up with new ways to help you be successful with your listings and with your buyers. I'm going to show you. You've been on a lot of webinars before where it's like a PowerPoint, and I got a PowerPoint here too, no doubt. But our hands-on workshop, we call them hands-on workshops because I'm in there showing you real life agents using these tools and doing real things. So we're going to do real things today. How's that? So
Can I just say something to start with here?
Of course, you bet.
This is what I tell everybody when they call me for tips and so on. Here's where I start. I tell them that, look, this is a lead generation tool, and this is about catching somebody who you don't know who they are, who is in your area most of the time, but sometimes not. And they don't know you, you don't know me. They decided this morning to buy or sell a house, and they sit down in front of their computers and they're trying to figure out, now, how do I go about buying or selling my house, and with who? And that who needs to be you, right? So you
Right.
want them, one, to find you because they don't know who you are. And two, once they find you, they have to tell you who they are, so you can call them up and you can say, hey, I think I can sell your house, or I can help you find your ideal house. And that is the problem definition. Everything that you see here, like all these tools, or everything that Eric is showing you here, is a means towards them finding you, one, and two, telling you who they are. Hopefully then they're going to start working with you. Once you have their name and phone number, then of course, you're going to
The fun
impress them
begins.
with this and that and what have you. But that's the problem definition, and this is a tool set. And the other thing I tell people in general, hey, it's a little bit like you want to plant a vegetable garden. You have to go get some tools, a bucket, shovel, pickaxe, rake. We sell you those bucket, shovel, pickaxe, rakes, and how much and how good a crop you get is really depending not just on the tool, or probably least on the tool. It depends on how you use it, and how lucky you are, and where you are, and all these other things, right? But at least if you have good tools, which this is probably the best tool out there, and I'm telling you not because it's my tool, it's because I see what people are generating with this. I mean, this helps you a lot. But learn how to use it, because no tool will help you if you just put it in a garage. It's not going to do anything for you.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing. That's some good perspective there. And of course, when I share with you today, obviously all agents are buyer's agents, but some agents are listing agents as well. And of course, most agents I found want to move to listing agent, or be there and be a better listing agent. Buyers are great because it's a faster sale, and you can get things into escrow, and if that's barring that there's properties that people are willing to sell. It's tight in a lot of areas of the country. But we should always, my advice has always been, try to work towards being a listing agent and being a really good listing agent. But a lot of these tools I'm going to share with you today help as well for buyers to be a good buyer's agent. So, all right. So, the RealBird toolbox is kind of divided in two halves: the listing publisher part and the property search. I'm going to dive right into RealBird area and show you what I'm talking about. So if you log into your RealBird area, you've got listing marketing, you've got property search. We're going to talk a little bit about the property search. That's probably more for the buyer side, but I want to really dive in and share with you how to leverage this listing marketing, and that's literally what it is. Now, I have a live client here, Noel Kreider. She's been a long time, advocate and user of the RealBird system, and she does a pretty good job of doing that. We actually have this listing that's been on the market a little while. We were just a little over a month, and we've had one price change in here, $799. I know it's California for a single level house, but this is a really, really nice property. You'll see in a minute. But I want to show you, we have quite a few of you here today that are, that was our titles that probably brought you in to say, hey, kind of like new, how do I use this as a new user of RealBird? And the first advice I would give you is don't be overwhelmed. Just because the tool has a lot of parts to it doesn't mean it has to be confusing. You don't have to understand it all at once. I try to make it really simple for you. I will today at least. And we're going to start with adding a listing and leveraging that toolbox to attract buyers. And there's a lot been said about when you put your listing in the MLS, what happens to it? Well, we know that your listing gets your personal information scraped off, and then your MLS usually has syndication tools that they use to send that listing out. And of course, gets picked up by Zillow and Realtor.com and Trulia and all these other places. So, but typically without your contact information. And what RealBird does is it increases the chances exponentially that your contact information can stay connected with that listing as you syndicate it out, as RealBird takes it and syndicate it out once you make it live and active. But the responsibility I'm going to share with you is really on you to make sure in that listing, when you create that listing, that you really leverage the difference that RealBird brings in giving more information, more different ways that people can, fall in love with the listing, see it, connect with it. So I created kind of like a punch list items of what I think makes a great listing inside RealBird.
Can I say something else here?
Of course, please.
So you have a short-term goal, and that is to make money and get a check for your transaction. But then if you just do short-term goals, it will be very hard in this online market to increase your business over time. Why? Because every time you sell a listing or get a new listing, or get a new buyer, and you're done with it, you're gonna start looking around. Okay, so where is the next one coming? So if you can, which you can with this tool, then do it in such a way that you grow your footprint online so people can find you better and easier, right? And that's the other thing. It's not just about selling a listing and getting one buyer, which you have to struggle with no matter what you do with the MLS, but increasing your footprint online. Now, if you let the MLS market your listing to online, I'm not saying not to list on the MLS, so don't misunderstand me. But if you let the MLS market your listing online, if you have a listing, listings are a great way to increase your footprint online, right? If you're a buyer agent, then okay, what are you going to do? You're going to have to put ads here and there. But if you let the MLS, if you have a listing, if you're lucky enough to have and be a listing agent, and you let the MLS market your listings, well, as Eric says, there's nothing about you in there, number one. Number two, after everybody gets the same information because they get it from the MLS, and after you sell the listing, the search engines are going to just shrug their shoulders because they saw the same content everywhere, right? So you need to do it in such a way that the sold listings, they each become a selling point for you and a touch point that they talk about you, what you've done, how good you are, that somebody within their attention span can realize that, hey, this agent is special, is better than the other 5 agents I've seen this morning. I should talk to this person. So that's the idea here. Try to do it. So this is the whole idea. Promote yourself through every listing and everything you do, because in the lead generation phase, you're the product. Everything else is bait. Up to you, Eric.
Okay, so in my perspective on that is basically leverage every listing to get more listings, and to be so you want that, you think about the window, maybe that house, the listing. Like I just noticed right now, I just noticed my notes, and this listing just went pending with a pending offer. So things change all the time. You have that window that you're trying to find a buyer for that home you have, and that window when that listing is active, maybe different parts of the country might be a week, like where Gabe is from, they're in South San Francisco. Other areas that might take 40, 45 days, 60 at the most. That's not happening a lot today's market around across the country. But you have that window to promote that listing, but you're not just promoting you. You have to leverage that listing to promote you and your services. It's the same thing. And when you have a listing, you are communicating to the world how you market a listing, and other people will see. They're thinking about putting their home on the market. They're going to watch. Obviously, you just put a lawn sign in the grass. Anybody can do that, but understand that you need to leverage every listing to get more listings. And I'll share with you a couple ideas on how RealBird can actually help you do that in a unique way I haven't seen any other tool do. So, okay, so I'm going back to here. I'm going to say these are some of the things, the listing ingredients that I think you need to be able to leverage a listing as much as possible. And some of these things you used to be able to do with like Zillow, and not anymore. So RealBird's a rare opportunity to be able to do that. By the way, have a great description, not the description you put in the MLS. I have a client in Austin, Texas, Steve Adams with Austin Homes Today. .com, and he has I help him sometimes because he's, hey, I need some help, some creative ideas on for my listing description, because it's not easy to write. His MLS gives him 509 characters, not 510, 509 characters that include spaces and asterisks or whatever. So you see the descriptions with W// and things like that. That's fine for the MLS. If they limit you, that's fine. But this is not the MLS. This is RealBird. This is your own syndication network, your own listing announcement service. So put a good description in there. And the reason why is that description in that listing, the SEO, the search engines read this, and they will be able to index this listing of yours and put it up in front of the people that are looking for those things when they search for words and descriptions. So use it. Don't use abbreviations. Spell it out. I would say even as much as 1,500 characters. If you got a beautiful home, describe it in detail. Also describe its relationship to other places, like near the local, Gray Oaks Elementary School, walking distance, or walking distance to Wildlife Regional Park or something like that. Or if it's close to like transit station or public transportation, or this far from the local big business, that hires everybody. Those type of things grounds a house in the community. Now, by just creating the listing already, the RealBird tool is going to anchor that listing. Once you make it live, it's going to be able to show where that house lies in like a map view, and also street view if possible. Like here's this listing right here. It's taking a while to zoom in here because we're broadcasting live. In other words, I'm pulling this listing up live here. But it's going to anchor that listing on a map with a Google Street View, which is really cool. Also a bird's eye view. It's going to be able to show that. It's also going to show the local schools. It's going to show market stats if they're available for that zip code or area. And of course, the description that you create, the photos you upload, we'll talk about that in a second here. But what basically this is this gives a potential buyer a lot of information, maybe too much information. I don't know. The philosophy has been, don't give them too much information that they don't want to call you. They got all their questions answered. Only show them a little bit of the information. But you know what? Consumers know that they can get more information in other places, that this listing is not just showing up here with the listing page. But give them enough information that brings them to the next decision level or decision timeline position. Obviously, to call you or to text you. You can set up text messaging with these RealBird listings that you're this listing marketing here. So it makes it easier for people to get a hold of you without having to call you or fill out a form. Although those are all available on each one of these single property websites. I'm having a little trouble pulling up my maps because it conflicts a little bit. There we go. I think I just zoomed it out a little bit. So that's where that house stands right there. You don't have to create the map. You don't have to create the bird's eye view. You don't have to create that. The RealBird tool does that just by you entering the address when you build the listing. Okay, let me go back to that because I think this is important. Okay, please get a video. Please generate a video of the listing. I'm going to tell you the best way is basically to take your phone if you have to, and don't move around too much, and just kind of walk through the house. You can even do it without audio; doesn't hurt you at all. And then you can upload that video to YouTube, and then when YouTube will give you an embed code once you've uploaded it. I'm going to say use a description. When you create a YouTube video, there's a place to put a description of the video and put the listing information or listing detail description actually inside that YouTube. I don't have time to share that with you today, but create that listing in YouTube, and once it says okay, it's live, publish it. It's live. They'll give you a link, and you click on it, and you click embed, and then you'll be able to go here. I guess I can show you right here because she's done that on this listing here. I'm going to go ahead here to overview. She did a video, and take that video, and you can then embed that back in this listing. So it's kind of a complete package. So here, this listing's on YouTube. but it's embedded. What's cool about this is we haven't left her single property website for this listing. We haven't left it to go view this on YouTube because it's embedded from YouTube into this listing. Now I'll have a chance to be able to show that. Now she has a photographer that does a great job of doing this kind of intro, outro, and this is full video. And not all of you have a photographer to be able to do this. If you can get to that, I wonder if she sold the donkeys. This one just went pending. I wonder if she sold the 2 donkeys. She said the 2 donkeys might come with a listing. But this is a really nice video. I'm going to tell that she probably paid for the photography and the video probably about $250 and $350. Now, it might sound like a lot of money, but the cool thing about this is that because these tools that she's invested in, like the photography and the video, it's embedded in this listing. This listing doesn't go away. When we're done, when I'm done demonstrating with you today, I just noticed this one. I just got to notice that this one went pending. So I'm going to change this to a pending status. And later when it becomes sold and completely and the escrow closes in 30 days, whatever, it's going to be marked sold. And what the cool thing is, this lives on. This continues to get shared. Is it going to be clear up here that it's sold? Yes. But all these tools that she used to market this home, and I want to put pause on that so I can show you how to embed that. That means that this lives on in perpetuity. It's not going away, and it still is going to share her reviews, because this is where I have her reviews, testimonials, built into every single one of her single property websites. A tool here that shows nearby active homes for sale, branded by her. Open house. Okay, so I have these different tools inside here that'll live on, even though this listing now today becomes pending, and in 30 days becomes closed and sold. This listing will still be able to help people communicate. If you hire No Crider, here's what you're going to get. Here's how your homes can be marketed. And then, of course, here's what she has available. And, of course, she specializes in Auburn, Penryn area. So this kind of puts a claim on, kind of like a thumbtack on the map that this is where she's successful. Okay, let me jump back. Oh, I do want to show that. Let me show you that. Let's go ahead. I'm going to click on the YouTube insignia down here. I know I'm talking fast, trying to fit it all in today. Got a lot of good stuff to share with you. So once your listing is live on the MLS, live inside YouTube, you're going to have these tools that you can then click on. And it's being a little slow in loading. I got fast internet. I don't know why it's being slow. Okay, here we go. Share. So I'm clicking share at the bottom. Okay. Let's try that again. I've connected to quite a few folks here. Okay, so share link. There we go. It's in bed. They changed this format literally like 2 weeks ago. Okay, share. By the way, you can start a video at any point, and that's kind of cool. Okay, I always show suggested videos when the video finishes. No, I turn that one off. Show player controls, I'm fine with that. And then what I do is I'm going to copy that code. It's going to copy that code. And let's go into the RealBird area, and let's go. We've got listing marketing, and then I'm already inside this listing. And I want to go down here. Okay, so we're listing marketing, inside RealBird, listing marketing. I've already got this listing pulled up. I'm going to go down to here to edit, add details and photos, edit listing details. Okay. And this listing, of course, I'm going to go ahead while I'm in here. I'm going to go ahead and mark this one pending because there's a pending offer on it. Just got that notice. And I'm going to go scroll down here. And so there's a way that you could do it. You could take the embed code that I copied from it, or you can actually there's a short code that YouTube gives you, or Vimeo, and you can grab that as well and then put that in here. And that's what she's done. So on this listing, when I click share, it's really just this short part right here. So if I copy that and then I come back to the listing, then that's where I put that in there. You can do the embed code as well, but this works just fine. It'll size to the single property website. And of course, when you're done, make sure you come down here and click publish. Now I made a change to here in that this one just went pending. So I'm going to go ahead and publish, and that'll save that change to be a pending status. And see, it'll put wherever this listing is seen, it'll put right at the top of that listing that this listing is pending. And what does pending mean? Well, contingent. Most areas of the country, pending means there's a pending transaction, but there might be still an opportunity for to get a backup offer. In California, that's happening a lot. So you have the flexibility to be able to do that, have market active, pending, or sold. And there's a benefit at each level. All right, I'm back into my short list here. Video, please post it to YouTube. Now, I'm going to tell you that we have agents out there, RealBird agents out there, and they figured out how to do this to start with, because when you're listing, when you put your listing in the MLS soon, within, gosh, 4 hours, you probably can find 36 different versions of your listing inside the MLS, because most of them unbranded, they're not branded by you. Picked up by Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia or Redfin or Homes.com. And if you want to dominate on the top of that, so that, searching for the address of that home, believe it or not, people do search for addresses for listings, that your RealBird version of the listing, all branded by you, can be near the top or at the top of the search engines. But there's a key to that. Here's what you do. You go ahead and create a video of the listing with some little minimal details, but definitely the address. Make sure you include the address in the description. And the post is YouTube, and then go into create the listing in RealBird. And I'm not necessarily talking about coming soon, although it can be coming soon listing, because you can do a coming soon listing. That's another option we didn't talk about in the status of a listing that you would add in RealBird. Okay, but you can actually create a YouTube video and those can be just of the still shot of the home, pictures you've taken, or they can be actually a video. But post that in YouTube, publish it. Make sure you put the description of the address in the YouTube video, and then come back into RealBird, create that listing, and embed the video in YouTube. And then I would recommend taking that listing and creating a post inside your website, which you can do very easily. Doing those three things, your listing in the RealBird, platform will show at the top of the search engine. It's pretty cool, and it's nothing wrong with being out of there, being first out of the gate, so to speak. When you come here, I'm going to go back to, I'm inside the dashboard here of RealBird, and I say, hey, I want to add a new property. Okay, so that's where you start. That's kind of like the start. I want to add a new for sale listing, and of course, if you're able to do coming soon listings, great. That generate the buzz. Hey, this one's going on the market to the world. Come and get it before we let everybody else know about it, or whatever you want to call it. So you have an opportunity. See the status right here? Do coming soon. Okay, do coming soon. Put some of the information. Maybe you don't have to put all the information. Definitely put at least 1 or 2 images. And I definitely recommend putting the video. But that's one of the statuses that you have to be able to generate a buzz for that listing. Okay, set up an open house notification. That's really easy to do. And when you're going to have opportunity, once that listing is live, I'll go back to one listing that's live so you can see that. So this listing, once it's live and you've published it and it's syndicated everywhere, it's going to go to a lot of different places. I can't remember the number of how many places it might go to. Maybe you can remember that, because RealBird has its own syndication partners. That once a listing's live, it's sent to all these different partners. Go ahead, Dick.
There's a list in the dashboard under My Listing Syndication Network, and don't expect the listing to go to Zillow or Trulia, because they haven't been taking publisher listings since last July, and the MLS, they're only from the MLSs. So they're in the same class as Realtor.com and Homes.com and those. But the big kahuna these days, so listing syndication, automatic syndication has become less effective these days, simply because everybody syndicates and there's such a huge quantity of things everywhere that for your listing to come up in searches, of course, it has to compete with 6 million other listings. But you can really find target other local people and non-local people with Facebook. The Facebook has become really the effective thing, and it's about 5 to 10 times cheaper per lead to generate a lead through Facebook than, for example, Google ads. So I strongly recommend that you look into that with the squeeze pages and so on.
Yeah, and I'm going to share a little bit of how to do that today and show you why that gives you the kind of advantage, or it's an advantage that's in your hand that you need to make sure you take advantage of. Okay, so we talked already about that you can create a coming soon listing and generate some buzz for that listing. By the way, you don't have to put a price in. When you create a listing in listing marketing, you do not have to put a price in. You could say, if you leave the price blank, it'll say contact agent or contact for price. Yeah, so you can do that too. I'm going to going back into this listing here. Oh, right here, set open house dates. So you can actually go in there and set the open house, and it'll put an announcement next to that listing wherever it's seen. Hey, this home is open 2 to 4 on Sunday afternoon. So see that? Look at that open house. Come take a look, and then you'd put the address in here, and you'd add that. You'd be able to add that, and it'd be seen next to this listing wherever this listing gets seen. Okay, here's some other thing. There's an add-on to your RealBird membership called Twilio SMS texting, and I recommend you all set it up. We've showed you a couple of times on these webinars or training sessions here how to do that. There's some detailed steps to do it. It's not hard. It takes a little patience. You need about 15, 20 minutes, but the cost is minimal. You can get a number probably in your own same area code that's your text phone number, 10-digit text number, and then you can add that to your account, and then you can set that up so that when you basically set a custom SMS code, like this one be, come buy 2 donkeys, here, home with 2 donkeys for sale or something, or 2 donkeys, just 2 donkeys. That's what it's, if I was to do that one, that's probably what I do for this one. So say maybe we have the number 2 and then donkeys, links to, and then you'd link it to the web page. But of course, every one of your list that's using it outside the specific listing, but you could do the same thing here where I'm inside the listing. Let me go to edit listing details. And I clicked the wrong button. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me do that again. So we click on the picture of the listing. Now this listing is obviously pending today. We know that already. But in this dashboard, you have here specifically for this listing, what we have here is SMS. So what I typically do is, if for like a listing, is I'll recommend that my agents will put 5700, like this is the address for this Butler Road, Penryn. I would say use something simple. Keep it simple. Don't have it long. This is just an easy way for this listing to be able to be viewed and displayed on a potential buyer's phone or tablet or computer, or actually tied with a phone, so that they will text your specific Twilio number. They'll text that short code, and they will get all the information about this listing that you're willing to publish, but in a format that fits on their phone. It's easy to peruse and easy to view. Very, very important tool. Like I say, this is an add-on. This is an addition to your RealBird membership, but it takes about 15, 20 minutes to set up, and it's never cost. Even if we're going to get 50 leads using this system per month, it still would cost less than $3. It's ridiculous. It's like so cheap you won't even know you paid for it. I don't want to say cheap. It's great value, I guess is another word to say it. And then so you can use this specifically on every one of your listings to give them a custom number. I know many agents in the past that have done like the toll-free number, and they tie a toll-free number with an extension to a listing. And this is like so much more advanced than that, because you're basically giving people the information they need in their hands quickly. And of course, what do you get in return? Their cell phone number, because this works through their cell phone, using the texting system. And you'll be able to, call them back and say, hey, I saw you saw that listing. What do you think? Hey, I want to make sure would you like to see the inside of the house and live, not just through my awesome tools that I've shared with you. So there's a great opportunity that, and what I was sharing about, I didn't mean to confuse you, but that once you have the SMS set up inside your RealBird account, is not just used for marketing specifically a listing that you have in your RealBird toolkit. You can link it to anything. I have a client of mine that has RealBird, and she puts all her sold listings. So you see all her sold listings, because once you have a listing in RealBird and you mark it sold, you have this army, this collection of sold listings. In fact, she has them on her website too. We'll go there in a second here. And those sold listings become an online resume, so to speak, of, here's auburnstayhomes.com. Let's go there. And you're able to show what you've done, how successful you've been. And RealBird kind of is the element that displays those sold listings. Let me go to featured properties, just see what I'm talking about. So Noel Kreider, she's kept track of her RealBird listings, and as they become sold, they're inside her RealBird account. Of course, these listings still get kind of, spread throughout the internet. But these are all her sold. I guess she's got a couple that are pending. But this is the map that we're able to create with her RealBird tools, because she's been, done a pretty good job of tracking them in RealBird, making them going from active, pending to closed, sold. And then this shows a great, portfolio. Here's where she's successful. Great tool to be able to show it. Well, what if I want to take that and and I want to be able to show that she's been successful in that area, I could go in here and I could put SMS cold, say sold homes. Make that without a space, sold homes, and I link it to that page, right? And add new SMS link. What it will do is it'll create a link. So when that's clicked, and say, just, hey, you want to see what homes we've sold? The Noel Kreider team has sold in the Auburn area. Text sold homes to that number, and you will get that page. And then she'll be able to see all the wonderful, successful sales she's had in that area. So set up the text for listening. This is an add-on. I'm going to be honest with you. This is an add-on, but so it's just going to take a little bit of time to set up, but really like minimal cost, like I said. Okay, when you create a listing in your RealBird dashboard, it's going to create a virtual tour. I didn't finish that. That's a tour. Spell it right too. And I know there are a lot of virtual tour companies out there, but RealBird tries to condense the tools that you need in one place, and that's what they've done brilliantly with us. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this listing and pin it. And I know it's pending, but I want to go ahead and click this button here and show you just an example of that. Okay, so we're back in here. Here's the branded virtual tour. Let me pull that one up first. Okay, now, like I say, Noel's done a great job hiring a great photographer, and so she has good high-resolution photos and some great video. This is the virtual tour that can be created. There we go. This is coast to coast. Now, I'm enjoying this virtual tour on a 32-inch big screen. It's going to size to whatever screen. I mean, if you're on an iPhone 4, it's going to still look awesome. This happens to be real simple, a virtual tour that's going to show the different scenes. I can click any of the scenes. I can slow it. I can stop it. Now, this one's a branded one, so it's going to have her contact information, photo gallery, location, more details, the description she's given there. Now, this is a branded tour. Now, you cannot, when you load your listing in the MLS, almost every MLS I've ever worked with, and I've worked with over 300, they don't allow you to have a virtual tour that is branded to you. That's, of course, so that you can do the scraping, right? So they can scrape off that listing and have other buyers and brokers represent your property as from the buyer's side. Your listing from the buyer's side. So that's okay. That we understand that, but RealBird puts the power back in your hands to really leverage that listing as much as possible. But this is the branded virtual tour, and you can't use that link when you go into broker load the listing as virtual tour link. Or I think they call it sometimes media link. It has to be unbranded. So let me pull that up. Legacy branded tour. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a legacy. That's an older version. The newer version is a lot cooler. Like I said, those RealBirds are always working hard and redoing things. Here's the unbranded virtual tour. So you can see what that, it's kind of the same. It just doesn't have, when I go to click the more, details or the menu, you're going to see that there's not a lot. It's just photo gallery, location, and overview. But that would be the link that you would use inside your MLS. So RealBird takes care of that. And I've worked with virtual tour companies, more than one actually, as a consultant and trainer, much like I'm doing for RealBird here today. And they get expensive. Sometimes as much as $25, $30, $50, $100 each. Well, just by using this tool inside your RealBird account, adding it in listing marketing and having great photos, it will create that virtual tour that you can then share in whether branded or unbranded. Okay, create a post. Now, RealBird's made this really easy. They've actually came out with this plugin I talked about in May, where you can actually, once the listing is, I say that actually, I use that word a lot, don't I? The listing is inside your RealBird. You've made it live. You can then take that listing and, in fact, I have an example right here. You can take that listing. Here, I'm going to go ahead and click on this tool within this dashboard, this listing, WordPress here. Okay, and I take that code, right? And you have to have already downloaded the plugin if you have WordPress. This is where this works. And believe it, more than 50% of you do out there. And if you don't have a WordPress website, it's a great way to go and contact me and I'll help you set one up. But you can download the plugin via that link, okay? And what this does is this creates a great SEO environment, that is search engine friendly environment. And I think I've already started a post here. I did, and this is in Noel's website, WordPress website. And I use posting these WordPress websites to be able to syndicate and send out to all different places as well. announcement of that post, whether it's a listing or not. So what I've done is I've grabbed that code that RealBird gave me, and I pasted it in here. And if you're in WordPress, there's two sides, visual and text. This is short code. In other words, it has kind of a square bracket in front, square bracket in the bottom, and the end, which means it's going to build that post with the code that they gave you from that listing inside the listing marketing. And of course, I always do posts, so I'd mark, what city it's in and add a category, single level living. But it's going to build that. It's going to build that listing. And I'm going to change this right now because this one, actually, just if I go live with this, off the market soon. I guess that's a good way to say it. What am I shopping for? If you're, maybe you're shopping for like a backup offer, off the market soon. So I can build that listing right there. And okay, let me see. I put the code in there. I always put a featured image in there. This is an interesting one with a patio, the view of acres behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on publish that, and we'll see what that's going to look like. So once again, RealBird's building tools to help you take that listing, and I call it a closet or wardrobe for that listing. You're giving it all different outfits so that it can travel the internet and that is the World Wide Web and attract a buyer. That's what it's all about. Okay, I've now posted that. And since I set her website up with it, you can do this real cool through a tool called Publicize. You can go ahead and take your post and your website and be able to syndicate to all these different places. I have like 4 or 5 different places I'm sending this listing, even though it's off the market soon. And let's go ahead and see what that looks like, and we'll see that the RealBird's giving me the ability to be able to create this post very quickly, and it looks awesome. Okay, it's got details about the property, a little bit of the listing information. Contact us for more details, and I've off the market soon. So that listing was easily created. I'll go on our Facebook page and you'll see how that's now posted there. But once again, the RealBird's giving you the tools to help you be successful so that you can share with that. It's going to show that in a second here. Let that pop up. Okay, create a post about the listing, and that did. Notice it's not going to matter whether it's you're advertising that listing as active, pending, which I just did, or sold. Hey, this one just sold in your neighborhood. So, and you could target that post to go in generally in that area. I know through Facebook you can do that. You can target advertising or boosting a post in a specific area. Say, hey, look what's sold in your neighborhood or whatever. So lots of different ways to use that. Create a branded listing photo. So you have the opportunity to be able to get a branded photo of that listing. And oh my gosh, you got so many tools here. Gabe, I'm a little overwhelmed. Here we go. Branded listing photos, embed or sharing codes. So branding listing, let's go ahead and create one for that listing so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so some of the agents still are very successful in Craigslist in advertising listings and advertising for buyers. But it used to be that you could go into Craigslist and you could put a lot of information and have text, and now you could just do a description. But you can always add, I think, 25 plus photos. So what RealBird does is it takes a photo and it brands it with your contact information and your logo for your business, so that you can take that listing, save that image, and then use it in your branding. Okay, just go down here and you click save. Name it so you can find it again, or put it in its proper folder, like I sometimes do and sometimes I don't. But basically, you can create a branded photo that you can use in social media. You can use it in Craigslist. Okay, pretty cool. And there's some other tools in here too. There's a lot of, I'm talking over myself this morning. Schedule. There's just a lot of tools, but don't let this be overwhelming to you. All the tools are here, and you don't have to use them all at once. Maybe I think that's sometimes the overwhelm that real estate agents. I got all these tools. I got to use them perfectly, every single one of them. No, you don't. Start with 2 or 3 of them, and get good at using them, and then add others in. Here's the other thing too. Have your assistant do some of these things. We have lots of training, recorded webinars of these trainings we've done before, and you can put them on the training webinars, and they can watch how to use these tools. But if you can empower someone else to help you with these things, I know I have clients that have RealBird, and I help them with their marketing, and I have a team that helps my agents do these types of things. Build the listings, syndicate the listings, share the listings. Anyway, so don't, like I say, don't be overwhelmed with all these things you can do. Here's the other thing: create a print flyer. How about that? You don't have to have a flyer program. Are they simple? Yes, they are, and that's for a reason. You know, they don't need to be fancy, but it pulls some images from the listing, a general map where that home was listed, branded by you with a QR code. People still use QR codes. You stick your QR code app in through your camera on your iPhone. You take a picture of that. You're going to get a lot of more information about this listing on your phone, and that's automatically created inside there. So this can be saved as a PDF. So let's say page as, I can save it as a PDF, boom, and I can do that. Actually, probably better to go up here, file, print, there we go. And that's going to be able to print that as a PDF. Yep, okay. All right, so going back here, all right, going back here, there we go. So create a listing, branded listing photo we talked about, and you want to share that listing everywhere. RealBird's created these really hot landing pages, and this is basically a dialed down version of the listing with minimal information, so that you can create a landing page so you get the name, email, contact information that they're maybe more interested in the home. Let's go ahead and inside the RealBird member area, let's click on here. Oh, how about this one? This is perfect. This was just one pending like 30 minutes ago. This is something that I can share. Pending sale in Penron. Text that number, because we already set that up, to get price, photos, property details right away, 24/7. More people, I can't explain it. Maybe you can explain it, Gabe, why folks would much rather text a code to their cell phone to get more information. There's a philosophy behind that, where there's a perceived, more privacy maybe, but you're getting their cell phone number. But people will do this in a heartbeat. I mean, I have an 84-year-old client in West Virginia, and she uses texting all the time in social media. So anyway, the people do this, and they'll do it quickly. So we've got this landing page for her listing, and wouldn't it be appropriate to post that in like Facebook or on our website, where we can gather this kind of information? This is a new one they just created. I didn't see this one. We did a webinar 2.5 weeks ago. I didn't see this one. They're always adding tools. RealBird's always adding tools. Okay, so I've got this. How do I share this? Okay, so I'd go over here to Facebook. Let's see. I'm going to, let's see. I don't want to share it mine. I want to share it Noel's. So it's a page that I help manage. Okay, so let's go find Noel in here. Okay, almost there, almost somewhere. There, no Crider fit. No, nope, wrong ones. Nope, almost there. Sorry about that. I want to make this demonstration for you today as live as possible. Going off the market soon. Bring your backup offer. Okay, and then this is what's going to show you. Notice it shows minimal information. So I post this on our business Facebook timeline, and of course, then I can share it or boost it or post it to Facebook. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to check with it before I do that. I don't jump forward, and agents I work with, I want to make sure we represent it properly. I represent it properly. But this gets them minimal information, and when they click on that, this is what they get. I said, oh, okay, sure, here's my name, email, my phone, or I'll just text this, and then to get that information. This is brand new. This wasn't here 2-3 weeks ago. This is what RealBird's always doing, and I know I'm touting RealBird, and because most of you are probably already members of RealBird, but use it. These tools are there to make your life easier, to leverage your time, to leverage your listings and your real estate sales ability. All these tools are engineered to do that. Here's another tool that came out just a couple, I think 3 months ago. You can create a seller email. That is, you can enlist the help of the seller to help you get that home sold. So you put like if this is Noel Kreider's, this would be, I don't know, home with a donkey seller at gmail.com. And then you'd put their name and then their donkey home for sale. Put their email here. You can customize it. What do you want what copy do you want them to send to you? Just big general, or this would be, hey, coming soon, or whatever. That's whatever version of the listing you want to show. Virtual tour or the whole single property website. Take a look and, hey, what you're doing is building an email that you're giving to the seller so that it's already pre-filled out and formed out so that they can then easily share with everybody. So if I send a test email, I'll get that email, and here I'll show you what it looks like. I think I got a picture of it here. So the email is going to look something like this. Take a look at this property. Please forward this email with this for sale and property information, friends, family, and colleagues. And you'd be amazed. Most people have between 250 and 750, sometimes more people, in their database that they can then share this listing with. And why not list their help to bring a buyer to the successful close? Everybody benefits by a successful close, even the seller, believe it or not, in most cases. Okay, so that's a new tool too, seller email tool. So once again, I'm not trying to overwhelm you with all the tools that are available. I just want to share with you, this is the best tool. Been in this industry, this year's 20 years. I've seen a lot of real estate marketing tools, and RealBird, hands down, it's the best I've ever seen. That's why I've been working with them the last 10 plus years, help them, to train people on how to be able to use them, because it's just an awesome tool. And it really puts power back in your hands. That's powerful. You need that. A lot of agents I spoke with out there, they feel disempowered by Trulia and Zillow, and what Zillow and Trulia even used to be. Or, hey, they're stealing my lead, they're stealing my listings. I've heard that time and time again. So the way to do that, you can be frustrated about that, and I always say, don't waste your energy on something you don't have any control of. Instead, put that energy into positive energy in something you can have control of. And the marketing of your listings, you can absolutely have control of your listing, not just relying on the MLS or whatever. And not only during the timeline of that active being listing, but coming soon, listing, leveraging pending window, leveraging sold window, leverage that listing everywhere you can to communicate how you work and how you're successful, and sharing with your sellers, these are the things I do that the next agent that you might interview for that listing, the next listing appointment cannot do. And I don't care if they're with Remax or Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams or C21. To me, that's like so 2004. The new age for real estate agents is to be able to have tools that help you really accelerate your marketing and accelerate sharing with the world who you are and what you do. So use those different, landing pages and share the heck out of them. If you're not in Facebook, gosh, it's another thing I've run into working with real estate agents and helping them set up their marketing. I don't have a Facebook business page, or I have it, and I don't know where it is, and I don't know what it's called. And I'm definitely not using it. And I don't know if I want to be there because I don't like Facebook anyway. I don't care about what you feel about it. Those tools are there to help you, and you got to exploit them. And I heard that from agents too. So, Zillow, I feel they're just exploiting me, and I'm like, exploit them back. I feel like Facebook is exploiting me and might not be a good place. People are hanging out there. Not everybody's on Facebook, but most people are, and most people are there often during the day, even at work, believe it or not. You'd be amazed how many people in their off time are on Facebook. So that's another pool of people, audience that can see what you're doing, to see your listings and make offers, and you can share with them what you have to offer. By the way, I showed you how you can create a flyer digital. You can print it out, or you can share that link and it'll be digital. You can create a slider display. I do this for some of my clients on their website. They say, I really want to feature this home. I really want to feature this home on my website. Well, RealBird makes that easy to do as well. And let's see, brand, let's see, here we go. And I'm in this all the time, but it's just, there's a lot here. Here we go, slideshow iframe. Okay. So I'm taking this, I'm gonna put some dimensions here on the left-hand side. I usually like about a 650 pixels wide. And that means it should probably be about 450 tall. And then I can generate the code. Now I've got that code there. So this would look like on her, I take this tool, I'm going to embed this on her website. So I'd go to her website. Let's go to the home page. Okay. By the way, that posting looks awesome. Okay, if I wanted to feature that, I'm going to mark it pending there too. I can go in here and add that slideshow. I can add it to a page, and I can add it to a post, and then it'll show. I don't have time to do it right now. We're running out of time, but it's going to show that slideshow again, not with all the information, but just quickly go through the images. People can click through. They can stop it. But to get more information, they click property details, and it doesn't close your website; it just opens it as another page, so they get more information about that listing. Okay. I've talked so fast today. I've shared so much information, Gabe. Are there any questions that haven't got answered?
No questions here that haven't gotten answered. But if anybody has questions after we hang up here, of course, they can email us to webcoach@gmail.com, which is Eric's, or support@realbird.com. And this recording will be available on that channel. I posted it now on the chat box.
I find a lot of folks are like, hey, I just need a little help getting started. Just dive in and what's my first step? And we can help with that. Feel free to give me an email, or a call, and I'd be happy to help you get you up and going. I want this tool working for everybody, and I want it working at a very, high level of efficiency. That brings a confidence with you when you go into, slay the dragon, so to speak, and get your piece of the market. When you have your tools dialed in and know that they're working for you, and know that they're generating leads, and to know that they're representing you well in all different places on the internet, and RealBird, helps you do that. I have just a kind of a quick get started. Get your RealBird, ready to fly. There's a place in your RealBird system here that you'll click up here under profile. Make sure you fill that out as much as possible. I have this like for Noel. She has an Active Rain account. I can add her Google Plus too. I noticed that. Where's your Zillow profile? Because these are all links that can be attached to every one of your listings. Here in California, where she is, you have to put your BRE number. In more states, they're doing that as well. So, so goes California, so goes the rest of the country. But put your information in there. Make sure you upload a photo. Make sure you upload a company logo. This is because all these tools brand every one of the listings you have. One last thing I forgot to show you. For each one of your listings that you've created, and I think she has 50 total in all the different active, pending, sold status. There's some common tools that happen in each of those little, I call it's basically a single property website. It's got all that information on it. Yeah. There's 3 pages or navigational tabs that can be added yourself, and then you have the opportunity to customize whatever content you want there. She's used them here to be about Noel Kreider, because people believe these. People, they want to know who they might be working with. So they will click on that about Noel Kreider and who is she and what does she do. So use that one of those 3 extra tabs that you have to put one information about you. She also has one for about reviews, and I put some reviews in there that you can put in there as well. And then Facebook us. There's another one I've used. The 3rd one, you can do whatever you want in these 3. You're basically building that. But I brought her, and I did do a post. Yeah, I did a post. It's already in her Facebook page. Off the market soon. So I brought her basically a whole Facebook business page inside her listing. And what you'll do that is you'll do that over here, inside listing marketing, and then I'm sorry, did I get that right? No. Global settings, there we go. Under listing marketing, global settings right there. So click global settings, you're gonna have 3 different pages, 1, 2, 3, and you'll be able to customize what happens on those 3 pages. And so that's awesome. Some are turning on are putting a live chat into their service as well, that can be embedded inside the RealBird as well. So anyway, I want to thank everybody. If we don't have any questions that need to be answered, I want to thank everybody for coming to our webinar. I apologize we weren't able to squeeze it all in today. Come back again. We're having a webinar again. Our next one is happening in, give you the date right now, pop that up. July 6th, just after the holiday, how to target buyer seller audience with RealBird, Facebook, Google, and more. We want you to come to these webinars, continue to be trained, elevate your marketing quotient, your intelligence factor, and so that you can dominate ahead of the competition that's out there. Thanks, Gabe, for helping me out today, being on the answering the question side and the admin side of this webinar. please come back again. We want to teach you some more. We want you to be successful. There's my contact information there. Feel free to contact me if you need help getting started on RealBird. I can spend a little time with you helping you get you up and running with RealBird so that you can be successful and use these tools. Love to talk with you and help out with that. Well, thanks, everybody. All right. Have a great weekend. Gabe, is there anything else?
Well, only we're working on planning a good guest speaker, not a good, a great guest speaker, who will talk about the subjects of expired listings and withdrawn listings and that kind of stuff. And she's been able to generate lots of good traction with that. And we will post that soon. We don't have it yet, but check our website on our webinar site. Webinar page, and we will post it there within the next few days. And have a good long day. Remember, it's getting shorter and shorter now.
Yeah, so use your time effectively. Leverage the best tools you can. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.